Well, good evening, everyone. Good Tuesday evening. It's been a beautiful spring day across the Tennessee Valley. And if you like today, then I have a feeling you'll like the rest of the week. However, temperatures are going to be rising quite quickly. We're going to be well above average. Today, we were seasonal in the 70s, but temperatures are going to be feeling more summer-like as we head into the next couple of days. We're talking lower, middle, even potentially upper 80s. Don't get used to them, though. We're likely going to see another significant cool down as we head into the second week of April, and that's when we'll possibly be tracking another risk of a frost and a freeze. Not much going on this evening. Skies are mostly clear, but clouds will increase overnight and through the day on Wednesday. Expect a mix of sun and clouds on Wednesday. Despite the added cloud cover, though, we are going to warm easily into the 80s. And I don't know about you, but today's my Super Friday. I'm just getting off a 7-day stretch here. I'm going to the pool. I'm sunbathing. If you have tomorrow off work, maybe you're retired, or maybe you just want to play hooky on your lunch break, hit up the pool, hit up the park. It is going to be the day to do it. These are going to be some of the warmest temperatures we felt in a while. Skies clear, everything looking good out in the roadways. Live look at Madison and I-565. Current temperatures ranging in the 60s for the most part. If I can get my clicker here to work, there we go. 61 degrees here in Huntsville, Chattanooga in the 50s. Muscle Shoals sitting at 63 degrees. The farther south you go, the warmer we are, but we're going to see a ridge build. This is what we call a subtropical ridge build across the southeast, and this is just going to pump in not only more moisture, but also more heat. Temperatures are going to rise quickly. Also expect some breezy winds. Winds will start to pick up out of the south and east overnight and through much of the day on Wednesday. I would take the time now, or especially early on Wednesday morning. Secure any loose outdoor objects if you haven't already. I don't think this is quite wind advisory criteria, but it is going to be a windy and warm day. Note, winds could gust as high as 30-35 miles per hour. Higher elevations, including ridgetops, winds could reach that 40 mile per hour criteria. And this is just going to blow all of the pollen around. It's going to be very, very sneezy and sniffly throughout the next couple of days as well. So temperatures currently sitting in the 60s for the most part. Will stay in the 60s overnight with the increased cloud cover. Even though more clouds will move in, we're not tracking really anything in the way of rain. I can't rule out a spot shower here or there early on Wednesday, but rain chances overall quite low as we head through the next few days. And the forecast has been quite tricky because the Tennessee Valley, we're going to be perfectly sandwiched in between this ridge to our south and east, and then also a stalled frontal boundary to our north and west. Likely we'll see a significant severe weather setup just to our north and west across the upper Great Plains, Midwest area. It's going to be too close for comfort, I would say, but I think the ridge, we're going to be centered right along the northwestern side of this ridge. It's going to win out. Ridge of high pressure, think high equal dry. Most of us are just going to see borderline hot and dry conditions through the end of the week. So cloudy as we head into Wednesday, but warm. High temperatures soaring into the lower and middle 80s. We're likely going to be in the 70s by the late morning, and then winds will be gusting as high as 30, even 40 miles per hour at times. Near record warmth for this time of year. We're not going to break any records, but we could get awfully close to tying some records, especially tomorrow. Our forecast high is right at 85 degrees. The record previously set back in 1963 was at 86 degrees. We'll reach the middle and upper 80s toward the end of the week, and we're closely monitoring the threat for showers and storms moving in, potentially even a few thunderstorms, severe thunderstorms, should I say. But we have lowered those rain chances because confidence just continues to remain quite low. A lot of uncertainties with this forecast, but yes, we do think the ridge is going to win out in this case, and the active weather should be staying well removed from us just to our north and west. So this is the setup that we have. Areas in red, that's where severe storms are likely. And again, this will be a significant setup here for places like Arkansas, back into Missouri, even up through Kentucky. All modes of severe weather will be possible along that frontal boundary that acts as a trigger, a lifting mechanism for those storms to rise. They could see tornadoes, even several strong tornadoes, large hail, and damaging straight line winds, maybe even as high as 65, 70 miles per hour. But there's a sharp cutoff really once you head into North Alabama. So the ingredients are going to be there. Very favorable environment across North Alabama and southern Middle Tennessee for severe weather. What we're lacking, though, is that boundary, which will stall out just to our north and west, which is a good thing because it keeps us well removed from that threat. I can't rule out maybe an isolated storm creeping in to far northwestern Alabama. We're talking Waterloo potentially. Even places like Lawrenceburg, but Franklin, Lincoln, Moore, Tennessee counties, you're going to be well off to the east from this threat. And if a storm does creep into northwest Alabama, I'd say your main impacts would likely be hail, gusty winds, and heavy rainfall. And we're talking a storm or two. Again, very minimal impacts for our area. We're going to watch it quite closely, but we just don't have the confidence to issue a 48 first alert weather day now or in the near future. And since this boundary really is not going to move much, note, this setup will be likely through Wednesday, Thursday, even into Friday. But bottom line, most of us will just see very warm, windy, and dry conditions. Note, cloud cover will be increased across the region. Peaks of sunshine still possible. I don't think it's going to be an overcast kind of day. So hour by hour, look at that, 80 degrees in Huntsville at 4 o'clock tomorrow, 82 degrees in Florence, and I think this model is a bit conservative. We'll easily reach potentially the middle 80s. Clouds will start to stream in by the late afternoon, early evening from the west, and we will be dealing with some cloudy conditions early on. And then all of that activity starts to fire up along the Mississippi River. Places like Memphis and north into Kentucky, around the Paducah area. But that's where it stays. And it might even creep close to Nashville, but very, very low potential for storms sinking far enough south to promote high concerns here in the Tennessee Valley. Temperatures cooling overnight. I say cooling, but they're really not going to be cool. They will be very mild overnight. Near 70 degrees to wake up on Thursday. You're not going to need a jacket before you head out the door. More clouds on Thursday too, and still warm, high temperatures, middle, even upper 80s. Isolated storm or shower possible through the end of the week, but much better chances for showers and storms likely will be coming by the upcoming weekend. And that's because the frontal boundary will finally push back through the region. Again, from now through Friday, it's going to be stalled. It's not going to want to move an inch, which is a great thing because it keeps us out of that severe potential, but it's going to sweep back west to east across the region, likely late Saturday and into Sunday. And that's where we could have more widespread coverage of storms potentially, and even a risk for strong to severe storms during that time frame. Now, what's different with this setup potentially compared to the last risk that we just dealt with? The last risk we just dealt with, tornado threat, was very limited. It was mainly a wind and hail impact day or overnight early morning event. because we had a lot of instability, but the wind shear was not all there. This time around, wind shear is going to be pretty high, but instability will be lacking. So again, strong to severe storms looking more likely late Saturday and into Sunday. We still need to get into our high resolution model data to give you more specifics in terms of timing, intensity, impacts, all of the above. Just pay close attention to updates though in the days ahead. I promise we will be keeping you up to date, in the know. Behind all of the rain, temperatures take a big tumble. Look at Monday. High temperatures only in the 50s. Going to be a very chilly day and potentially frost possible overnight Monday, early on Tuesday. Now temperatures do moderate a bit. 60s, 70s throughout the rest of the week. But that cool snap might not be completely over. So keep this in mind if you want to have your beautiful blooms, your plants. I get it. This is the time of year where new beginnings, new growth. I love walking around downtown especially and seeing all of the flowers around my apartment. I'm a huge flower gal. But we always say wait until after April 12th to do any planting. This is the reason why. So windy, warm on Wednesday, near record warmth throughout the rest of the week. An isolated shower or storm will be possible, but that activity will likely stay well off to our north and west. Better chances for showers and storms arriving by the upcoming weekend, late Saturday and early on Sunday. Some storms could be strong to severe, and we will be keeping you updated. Once the rain moves out, the cold air comes back. Upper 50s to lower 60s for afternoon highs, and we'll be tracking a threat for frost overnight Monday and early Tuesday. Thank you again for tuning in on this evening's Weather Extra. We have our 10 o'clock show coming up here in just about 15 minutes. We would love to see you there. Me, Miss Margot Gray, and also Mr. Carl. For now, good night, have a safe evening, and have an even better week.